Hey guys and girls, and welcome to Among Trees. Now today we're going to do a little bit of gameplay and a bit of a walkthrough to show you the new pre-alpha to the game. It has been out for a while. I have played it for a little bit, and I'm just here to show you guys the new things on the latest patch that's just been released. And like I said, a little bit of gameplay, and let's see how it goes. Now today we'll be starting a new game, and we'll show you how it is and how the game looks. So we'll be playing on standard and normal. And here we go, we're off guys. Now I hope you enjoy the video, and if you do, please drop a like and a sub. I would really appreciate it as the channel is starting to grow. Alright guys, now like I say, if you do enjoy the videos, please drop a comment, say what you like, if there's any changes. And guys, with no further ado, here we go, Among Trees. Alright, now as you can see, the art style is very different, but it's definitely very beautiful. I love the art style, the soft pastel colors. Alright, so here we go. So as you can see, this is the opening spawn point where you start your new game, and as you can see, here's an old broken down log cabin, and we need to get it fixed up and repaired before we can start moving along with the game. Alright, so as you can see, we need 6 fir planks and 10 sticks. Now just a hint, in the opening part of the game, as you can see here, I just picked up a fir plank. If you look around, you can see there's a lot of debris within your spawn area. Alright, some mushrooms. Now mushrooms are quite important. Make sure you collect all different kinds of mushrooms and food items in the game, as they can be eaten raw and also cooked later on, which is going to give you much higher hunger, because as you can see on the bottom right hand side, you can actually see we've got your health, you got your hunger, your sleep deprivation, and even your temperature. So those are things you actually need to keep an eye on during the game and during your gameplay. Alright, now hunger does tend to go down very quickly, so always keep an eye on it, but you will always get a pre-warning. Alright, some more mushrooms. Now with the food items and so on, I will be getting into that a little bit later on, explaining them individually. One thing's for sure, make sure you collect as many of these twigs and sticks as possible. Early game they're not so necessary, but as the game progresses, late game and for cooking, you're definitely going to need them, so they will come in handy in the long run. Alright, so let's just have a look here. So it looks like we've collected enough resources to build the cabin. And there you go, cabin is complete automatically. Now we can sleep, save, and we'll have some storage. Alright, let's pop inside, have a look and see. Alright, so this is our saving point. This is our storage. Looks like we can craft cooking. We've got a bed to sleep in, and storage and craft. Okay. So there we go, so the log cabin is up. It's still mid-afternoon, so I think we could still do a little bit of exploring, walking around, finding some basic resources. Yes, and get things going. Alright guys, so here we go. Now just a little hint. I have played before, and I have been testing the game out a little bit before bringing it up to you guys. Now you'll see a little log cabin, and if you just pop over the hill behind these rocks, you're actually going to find your first broken down watchtower. Now let's have a look. So as you can see, here are the old watchtowers or fire towers. I'm not exactly sure what they might have been. As you can see, there it is. Alright, so now for these boxes you'll need a lockpick, and for these you can either open it with an axe or a pickaxe. Now the good thing is, with the lockpicks, once you've actually created one lockpick, you no longer need to create more lockpicks to be able to access them. So you don't have to create multiple lockpicks, as your lockpicks won't get used up in the game. So once you've got one, you're good to go for the whole game. Alright, so some more of these, but I can't get into them like I say, but we'll get there, we'll get there. Okay. So it's a very decent start. We've managed to find a fair decent amount of resources, and like I say guys, just take a look around how beautiful it looks. Yes, there you go. Alright, so let's quickly grab the last few resources, see what we can find. Oh, there we go, some more seeds, nails. Now seeds you'll be able to use later on in the game, but we're going to get to that at a later stage. First things first is we need to get our log cabin up and running, and I will give you a hint and some tips as soon as we get back to the log cabin. As you can see, the art style it's very different, very pastel like, very soft colors, soft music. It's really beautiful. Okay, so this is also a hint. As you can see, the storage box does not have any icons above it, but we'll show you something now. As soon as you put in some items in the storage box, you can see there's a little small square right there showing you have an item in the box, and it's a bit difficult to see now, but there is a bit of a complete square around it as well. And once that fills up, you know your storage box is already full. So it's very easy to know these things even without actually having to open it. And if you press left click on any item in your backpack, it's going to store one of those into your storage box. If you right click, it's going to add all of them into the storage box. Alright, so we're just going to quickly put everything in the storage box for now. I'll keep some mushrooms to eat later. Alright. Now, another little hint is food is very important, but I do not recommend actually building the crafting room first, and I recommend rather going for the kitchen. Build a crafting room. As the crafting room, you can build an axe, and with the axe you'll be able to chop down trees and get more fir planks, because later on, as you can see, fir planks are required over there and over here, but as we don't have many and they're difficult to come by, if we end up building the kitchen, we're not going to have an axe to actually obtain more. So that's why it's recommended rather try to get your crafting room up and running. And as you can see, we need 3 steel, 3 stump moss and 12 fir planks. So what do we have? We've got 7 planks, so we're definitely going to need more planks, but we're going to work on that. Alright, so what we're going to do, let's quickly eat something. Tab for your inventory. And here we go. So as you can see, each food item actually gives you the basic raw and the cooked. The difference between the two is obviously cooked now you can even get a little bit of health out of your food item, and raw you don't get much. But at the moment we do not have a kitchen to cook, so we're going to be eating them raw. There we go. So I'll have 3 mushrooms for now. Should keep me going. And back to exploration. Now you get, if I'm correct, 4 different kinds of mushrooms in the game. You also get a type of fungal mushroom that actually grows on the pine trees, and those can be eaten raw. So we'll go through the different kinds of mushrooms, but just one hint is the red mushroom. Alright, here we go. Ruby beet. Ruby beets are lovely for cooking, gives you very good, it fills up the hunger quite a lot. Alright, so definitely want those, and a ruby beet and 1 mushroom in a cooking pot is the best way to. Alright, so now guys, Where I was getting was with the red mushrooms. They are poisonous. Here we go. That's a fine example. So, the red mushroom, as you can see, it's got a 25% chance of actually poisoning you. But once you actually cook your mushroom, it loses the ability of poison. So, these are great to keep, but just make sure you cook them and don't eat them raw, because if you do end up getting poisoned, it's very difficult to get rid of your poison effect. Alright, so there we go. And another good thing is, don't be shy to explore, as your cabin icon will always show up on the map, so you'll always know where to go. Okay. As you can see, it's already dusk, sun setting, so I think instead of exploring further, it's probably better to head back to the cabin. Now what I like is all the little fog particles in the volumetric fog. It looks beautiful. Alright, so we made it back to the cabin. And we've actually got the option to sleep. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly store some of my food items. Now I'm going to quickly pull out some of the mushrooms. And just to show you guys the difference between each mushroom. So the golden mushroom, or the chanterelle, as you can see, eaten raw, it gives you a little bit of, it helps with temperature and gives you a little bit of hunger. If it's cooked, it's much better on the hunger, but as you can see, the temperature, it actually gives you a full bar of temperature. The poison mushroom, we've already been through that. And then of course your standard button mushroom, which is actually fantastic. Just one piece cooked is nearly half on hunger and health, which is fantastic. The thing is, with the mushrooms, you can always combine them. If I'm correct, you can combine up to 5 different cooking ingredients into the stove and cook them together. So if you would like something which gives you, for example, hunger, health, and you would like something with warmth, you would mix one of these and these together, and you'd get 3 different status effects with that. Alright, so that's just a little bit of a hint and a tip on the mushrooms, guys. Now what we're going to do is sleep for the night. And we'll see you in day 2. Alright, day 2. So we'll quickly pop in a save. It is an auto-save system. So I'm going to quickly put our mushrooms back in that box. And we're going to carry on exploring. Now, like I said, I have explored before, so I have a vague idea of locations of some of the towers and so on. But like I said, I'll just be explaining the basic tips to survival, tips and tricks, just to help you guys out for when you get started. Okay, so we just picked up another ruby beet. Now, this is behind that big rock, and we have been here before, so we have looted what we could. Alright. Oh, some mushrooms. So guys, very important, all different kinds of mushrooms, any food items you can find, just try to stock up as much as you can, as it definitely helps. Okay, here we go. So for the yellow ash leaves, I'm not going to collect them now, as they are more used later on in the game, as you start to get to different crafting items. But for now, we'll stick to collecting food. Now I think I just picked up some berries, as you can see. Gives you very low hunger and a little bit of heat. When cooked, it's much better. But what we're going to do, I'm just going to eat 2 of our button mushrooms. Alright. Ooh, very nice. Okay, so what we're looking for now is we are looking for another old watchtower. Dogbane. Alright, so Dogbane can be used as a... I'm not 100% sure to make rope, There we go, to craft a robe. And other important items. Alright, so we'll collect a little bit of the dogbane, although we have rope. Like they said, it can be used for different items. So we'll get to the dogbane a little bit later in the game, but for now we will pick it, as they're not too easy to come by. There we go. So we've got a few pieces of that. 8 pieces, lovely. Alright, let's carry on exploring. Ooh. Mushrooms, I think I saw more over here. Oh, I think I see a tower. Yes, I do. I hope that's not the same tower I saw, but I don't think so, as I did walk quite far. Ruby beet, nice. Now the ruby beets you can't eat raw, but once cooked they're absolutely amazing. And like I say, if you can find ruby beets, guys, just pick them up, collect them, because later on, once you got your cooking station up and running, then you're definitely going to be looking on the bright side. Alright, now if you guys do see anything like this shining, it obviously means that you found a blueprint. Let's see what it is. Nice, the lockpick blueprint. There we go. So like I said, guys, only one lockpick is required. You don't need to make multiple. So we're definitely going to get into that lockpick soon. Lovely. Alright. So we're going to grab all the resources that we can find quickly, so we can get that crafting room up and running as soon as possible. Alright, I don't know if I actually searched this. Let's have a quick look. Alright. There we go. Steel pipes. Now we're going to get through each item individually and what they can do and what they're used for. And we will do that at the crafting station. Once we get that built, we'll be able to have a look and see what we can do. Alright, there we go. So I do have one more spot in my inventory, and what I think I will do is I'm going to see if I can find some driftwood. Doesn't look like there's any over here, but that's alright. Now guys, like I said, the game is in pre-alpha. There's still a lot of patching and a lot of work to be done. Optimization wise, there's still quite a bit to be done as well. But so far for pre-alpha, the game is playing really well, very smooth, looks beautiful. But there's still definitely some areas where optimization is required. But overall, it's still visually stunning. Alright, there we go. Okay, I don't have any space in my inventory, unfortunately. But what we'll do is we're going to discard that for now and pick up the hoof fungus. There we go, let's have a quick look. So the hoof fungus, as you can see, cannot be eaten raw, but when cooked, it actually gives you a decent amount of hunger as well. Now the hoof fungus, like I say, all the red mushrooms which are poisonous, the hoof fungus, and the beets that you find, the ruby beet, those are things you can keep later on for cooking. Now let's quickly store all of our items. Alright, now let's have a look. So we got lots of planks that we needed. Let's quickly have a look what else we need. Fir planks, 2 more, 3 steel wires and 2 moss. Okay, so we don't have moss. That's something we're actually going to need to go look for quickly. But let's eat some mushrooms. Keep our health up a little bit. And now we need to go find some moss. Now moss actually grows on tree stumps. Not all of them, but most of them. So let's have a look, see what we can find. And guess what we just found? There you go, guys. That was honestly pure luck, but there we go. So stump moss. More red mushrooms. All the food we can get. So I think we need 2 more pieces of moss. Oh, lovely beehive. Now later on, when you have an axe or a pickaxe, you'll actually be able to break them and collect honey and beeswax. Beeswax is definitely something that you can use later on. Alright, as you guys can see on the top middle of my screen, there's an icon that's just appeared of an eye. That means that there's a bear or a dangerous animal in the vicinity. So you definitely want to keep an eye out and be more careful. Alright. So I think the bear is in that area over there, and in that area there's actually still a blueprint. I'm not sure which blueprint it is, but we're going to come back to that area a little bit later, as I don't think we are prepared to take on a bear. Alright, some sticks, mushroom, don't want to forget the mushrooms. Alright, so food wise we are doing good. Very good. Okay, here we go, some more sticks and more moss, perfect. There seems to be another stump over there, so we'll quickly have a look, maybe. Okay, lovely. Okay guys, it looks like we've collected enough moss. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head back to the cabin, and we are going to get that crafting room up and running. And then the next episode we will be focusing on the kitchen and maybe the storage room, the extra storage room. Okay, so as you can see, even on the way, I'm definitely keeping my eyes peeled. Pick up all mushrooms, anything that's edible. Chicory, alright. Here we go. So it can only be eaten when it's cooked. And it can also be used for sewing. So it gives you a fair bit of health, but I would recommend rather keeping this for sewing, as later on when you're going to start making armor and things like that and your new backpacks, then you're going to be looking at using some chicory. So if I open up my inventory, as you can see, here is your backpack, and this is the slots I have. And then if you click on the little waistcoat, you can actually see you can make different outfits, and each outfit will have different effects and different stats, and different backpacks, better backpacks obviously is more inventory. Alright, and like I say guys, if you've got any questions, just drop a message, drop a comment, and I'll try to come back to you guys. Alright, so we made it back to the log cabin. Here we are. Alright, so we've definitely got enough stump moss. We need 3 wires and 12 fir planks. So let's quickly get into that. Let's just store what we can. Alright, so we got that. We need some wire, and we have the moss. There we go. Alright guys, that's the crafting room. Now in the next episode I'll be explaining a little bit more about the crafting room, and we will get the kitchen up and running. But for now guys, thank you very much for coming by. I hope you enjoyed it, and please drop a like and a sub. I would really appreciate it as the channel is growing. See you guys in the next episode.